Hello everyone, so welcome to yet another book video review, and today we will be reviewing a non-fiction book, and this is an interesting journey of a woman from Jamaica. And so the title of the book is Born to Rise, and the author is Lorna Blake. I hope I got the name right, the pronunciation of the name right. So Lorna was born in Jamaica, and she went through a lot of hardships, and throughout the journey, what happened to her in her life, and also siblings. So these are what the book essentially all about, and about the key takeaway message that accompanies each chapter. And we will also see how she has successfully become a life coach. She's a coach and she motivates people. So yeah, before that, as usual, my non-fiction book reviews are divided into three sections. So the first is the internal layout of the book, how easy it is to read the book, the font, the sizing, the spacing, and everything. The second is the plot development, and the third is the key takeaway message that you get from the book. So the first one is the internal layout of the book. The book that I read is an ebook, and I thought that the spacing, the font, and everything was really big enough. It's clear, it's comfortable to read, so 10 out of 10 for that. So this book has like about 100 pages, but the book is really compact. It's pretty compact, and you don't really read a lot. You don't because of the spacing, the font size, you don't really spend too much time on one page. So you will find yourself flipping the pages real fast, real quick. And this book can be read in one sitting. It's very comfortable to read, enjoyable. And so the second is the plot development. Now there are several chapters in this book, in this very short book, but mainly the book starts off with the life of the author, like how she struggled in her childhood, how she had difficulties with her mother, and tracing back who her father is later on. I think this was discussed thoroughly in there's another book written by the author as well. So we see how a girl from Jamaica, from nothing, from having to go through abusive environment with those that brought her up at that point of time during her childhood, and later on moving on to university, graduating with distinction, and then pressing through all the hardships, right? So the most important part that I really think that touched my heart is her relationship with her grandmother, right? So the story actually starts off with that, and she wanted to buy a flask, right? That a flask that could keep hot water, tea, for her grandmother, but it didn't materialize. So that goes to show like how difficult things were for her back then in Jamaica, and growing up in poverty. And then at the end of each chapter, she has also included the key takeaway message of that particular chapter, and how she views things. And she is a very positive person. She does not dwell in dramas and the traumas right? So we get to digest what the chapter is telling us, and what the chapter is all about. So at the end of each chapter, you get to, like, kind of like summarize the whole chapter before she moves on to other chapters. She also has included testimonials from her clients, I believe, or people who have worked with her, I believe. And I thought that maybe that could have been a separate chapter altogether, probably a separate section altogether. But other than that, the story flows really well from her childhood to what she is now, from one chapter to another. It's easy to follow, really relatable, right? Because some of us, she has also gone through difficult marriage, right? And how the partner was not supportive. So it all goes to show that, when we have troubled childhood, we tend to grow up looking for that love outside, in order to fill that void. And it also reminds us that self-love comes first, right? So the author has also emphasized on that, on self-love. And so I would give 10 out of 10 for plot development. Easy to follow, continuation is there, and the key takeaway message. Now, I would definitely say that, like I said, at the end of each chapter, the author has kind of like, summarized each chapter, and it makes things easy for readers to digest. Fantastic a way of delivering her own story, I would say. And all the key takeaway messages are very relevant to anybody in this world, right? Not just somebody who hails from a country that is not so rich, right? So I think the key takeaway messages are all very relatable to anybody in this world. Struggles that we are going through, relationships with people. So 10 out of 10 for that. I would totally recommend this book. Get a copy of it. You can actually read it in one sitting. It's so very easy to read. It gives you kind of a satisfaction being able to read it in one go, right? So do grab this book and check the author out on her websites. I will link it up in the description below. Make sure to check her book out, Born to Rise by Lorna Blake, on Amazon, and have a pleasant and fulfilling read. So till I see you in another book video review, signing off, Jasbina. Thank you so much.